Hey guys, this is John Scarborough. It's kind of raining out here. I'm probably not going to do a video very long. I wanted to do a little bit of a follow-up video on some of these washouts that I've talked about in the past. Kind of show y'all just how bad it can be. And it's not raining very bad at all. The rain is really slacked up and a lot of the flooding has slacked up. So this is not near the best example. But these are some of the places that I've done some filming on in the past, okay? And you can see, if you'll go back and look at some of those other videos, I'll try to link some of those other ones to this one so you can look at the comparison if you haven't seen it, okay? But this is a pretty decent amount of water that we've got coming through here, even right now that it's slacked up, okay? You can see that right there where the transition is. I did a video talking about this, where the transition of trees versus grass is, okay? You can see all that water right there coming right through that grass, okay? And that ground is being held together because of that nice, lush winter grass there. Even though it's not a very deep root, that winter grass is really helping hold that together. And then when the summer grass is, the root of the summer grass is helping that hold that together as well. But you can see right here where the transition is, right where the shade is. In the summertime, you look at those trees, that's going to be right about where the shade falls, where there's not as much growth on grass. And we've done some trimming back here and tried to get some more growth going in. But the point is that's where that washout is, okay? That's right where it starts to fall. It's right where there wasn't grass. The whole point to that last video when I made this was about how the tree roots sometimes don't hold ground together as well as grass can. But what really holds them together really well is a combination of both. And just so everybody knows, I'm not downing trees. I'm all about trees in the cattle pastures, okay? I just kind of wanted to throw that out there, that example. You can see that there. That's a pretty good example of a tree not being able to hold its own when it comes to a lot of water coming down through. But with just a little bit of grass, from better management practices, you can get your ground to hold together better. Now, if I were to continuously graze that right there, then I would start to have a problem, because I would definitely start to have cattle that walk the fence, and I would have cattle trails coming through on that side of the fence. A lot of that grass wouldn't be nearly that thick, especially if I was grazing them, continuous grazing during the winter. That winter grass would definitely not be that thick. That would end up probably being a very big washout there, okay? So I'm gonna move upstream just a little bit, and I'm gonna show you all a couple of the other places I've touched on, just because this is kind of a follow-up video for all of them, okay? Excuse me for all the shaking. And you can see this here earlier. These places were really coming down with some water. They're pouring down in there, okay? And without any grass in there, that's just going to tear all the way out, okay? So that's stuff we've got to try to get healed up. And it's really difficult to do in a shaded area like this, all right? So now we come over here and look at this tree over here. I did another video on that, okay? And that's really ripping and roaring around there. And it's creating a lot of havoc, I guess. And it's just going to keep on tearing those banks out like that. You can tell how muddy the water is. That's a lot of stuff from upstream, but it's also stuff from in this stream, in this creek here. Now, if y'all go back and look at some of the other videos, you know how high this water is. It's really, really high right now. And because it comes in so quickly, I mean, this point is probably the bottom point for miles and miles around. We got some crazy hills around here. And so all the water from probably, I mean, shoot, it could be 20 miles from here. All the water ends up just coming right down through here, all right? But it's all in a hurry. It just comes down really quick and then it goes away. So the beauty in it being in a hurry is the fact that we have a chance, if we can do it right, we have a chance to eventually start building up some root structure and some grass and things like that down inside the creek that will hold it together, because that water's only going to be there that high for a day or two, or sometimes if it's a solid rain, then it's a whole week or something, you know. But even that is not enough to kill out the root structure, okay? So it does help. Now, that's still a lot of water, okay? Then here's another washout, an example that I talked about. We got a lot of grass. We actually did get to establish down in there, and you can see we're still losing some there, but we're starting to get a little control of it, and that's all coming from up there. Okay, now if I didn't get any control of this, if I didn't have any grass all in this right here where this water comes down, I would have another creek. Essentially I would have another place that's completely washed out, and it tried to do that there. Okay, but because there's grass there, for the short duration that there's going to be water on top of that grass, it's not going to kill that grass. It's going to hold, that grass is going to hold that together there. Okay, so that's another example. Let me walk over here. We've got a lot of drop holes and stuff, sinkholes and everything around in here, so I got to be careful. If y'all see me drop off, you know why. Here's one right here. It's from a lot of water that was coming up in there. Now I've done a couple videos on this little spot right here, but I never got one right when it was bad and we fixed it. What happened was it was really coming down in bad in here, and there was hardly any grass. Okay, we actually rolled a couple bales out through here, and we really could use a few more here and there, but you got to do it just right. If you do it like right now, you're just causing a problem, you're not fixing a problem. Okay, you got to do it before the rains hit. So it can be kind of tricky because our rains are usually about the time when it's supposed to start, after we've already been feeding hay. You know what I mean? So it can be a little tricky trying to do it without wasting any hay. Okay. But anyway, you can see how lush and thick the grass is there, and how well it's holding that together. Look at that right there. That grass is just laid over, and as soon as that goes away, then that grass is going to stand back up. And we've got a little bit of showing of some roots down in there. I don't know if you can see it. It's pushing it back, but considering the rainfall that we've had, this is pretty good. Okay, and you can see what it was trying to do. All right, now as far as how to fix that hole right there, I think the only thing you could actually do is come in here, because that just got a little underground stream that goes right into that creek over there. Okay, so I think the only thing you could really do there is actually fill it in with dirt. Probably the best thing to do is if you had a tractor and you came out over here and just mashed all of that straight down all the way up to there. Just mashed it straight down. Y'all don't be laughing at my gloves. I'm wearing my wife's gloves today. I couldn't find my gloves, and it's very cold out here. So anyway, yeah, so I think if you mash that down right there and then you added some dirt in here and then maybe put some hay over it, I think that would probably fix it. The main thing is just keeping it from getting any worse, okay? And building up some growth around it. I have taken places like this where there's straight drop-offs, and I've put a bale inside of them. You have to make sure it's not raining during that time. Put a bale inside of it early on in the year. It's like one of the first bales I feed before the rain hits, okay? And the cattle will actually start bringing that edge. Instead of being straight down, they'll bring it and they'll fold it back like that and allow that sunlight to get down there. Okay, usually what happens 9 times out of 10, the winter grass will grow up through that old hay, the remnant of the hay that's left. The winter grass will grow up through there long before your bad rains start to hit, and you'll get this right here, and it will really help hold that together. That is a pretty efficient way to fix a place like that. It doesn't always work the first year. If it doesn't work, do it again the next year. But it does work, and for me, usually it works the first year. Okay, so you can see kind of in here, we got a lot of sticks and everything else from the droppings of this tree right here. Okay, but we've got grass all in there, all around in here. This makes a wonderful way to hold ground together. My biggest reason for touching on this so much is because of where we live. You know, we get so much problem with it. But I have found just by better grazing practices, we get less problems in all of this. Okay, we enrolled a bale here and knocked down some of these weeds, and that hay that's there is really helping to hold that ground together right there, the remnant of hay that is left. And you can see the winter grass is going to start popping its head up through all of that right there and really helping out as well. Okay. I'm wanting to go ahead and come through here and unroll another bale right in here, but if I do it right now, it's going to be more bad than good. You've really got to be careful about that. Make sure you're doing it at the right time of the year, because you can see if I do it right now, this is our rainy time of year. I got to make sure there's at least 2 weeks before another rain comes before I do this, because if I do this, you want to do it in such a way that when the cattle graze over and eat all of the grass that's there, then the grass that's left has time to break down enough for that green grass to start poking up. Okay, even though you're probably not going to hurt anything with the hay being left behind, they usually, on the side of a hill like this, they usually do muck it up a little. Okay, so you want to give that green grass a chance to kind of catch up, get its head back up there, and it'll really help hold a lot of that in together. And I kind of wish I would have had a little bit more time on this one, but I didn't. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to do a little follow-up video on a lot of the little areas I've been talking about. This is not near all of